In an uncommon occurrence, save for issues of the highest importance, the members of the Galactic Council convened in somber urgency. A variety of tall, glistening creatures and sage elders from all over the galaxy exchanged gloomy looks. Earth, an apparently insignificant actor in galactic affairs, had become the focus of an increasing conflict that posed a danger to the galaxy's stability. Delegates from the Council had compelled several creatures to speak, in order to demonstrate the exceptional adaptability and tenacity of humans. They had advised the major powers of the galaxy to be cautious while interacting with Earth, but one being in particular had drawn their concern. The Council had noticed that the alien ruler had been increasing his provocations against humanity. Movements were observed with growing concern. He was applying deliberate, yet careless pressure to Earth the moment had arrived to step into, prevent his ill-considered goals from ruining the galaxy's future. The spokesperson's voice was resolute, as the Council delivered its official message reverberating across the Great Hall. Its inhabitants are erratic, possess an extraordinary will to live, and have a propensity to innovate under pressure. Trying to engage them in conflict could have unanticipated consequences. Stearns. Lecture focused on the long-term ramifications for the Council and for all of galactic society. It was made clear humans were a species with the unique ability to act as a balancing force, one of both resilience and wisdom. If left neutral, they could offer stability. If provoked, destruction. The message spread across galaxies, landing directly before the alien king. He grinned as he watched the incoming signal, seated indifferently in his royal chamber. To him, the Council's warnings were hardly worth notice. After all, he had conquered other worlds, and the people of Earth? They were weak, backward, more sophisticated species had bowed to him and Earth. He believed would be no different. He laughed. These new humans? A threat? He scoffed. Centuries of victory had given him hubris. He dismissed the Council's message without a second thought. Let them remain impartial, he sneered, waving dismissively. The Council forgets authority is won by conquest. They are only ants waiting to be trampled. He turned to his advisors, obedient, silent, ready to execute his will. We'll show these people the cost of arrogance, he declared. If they think they can avoid galactic affairs, they'll learn their place soon enough. The king's advisors nodded as he laid out his plan: provoke the humans, test their patience, make them react. The Council's warning, a meaningless formality. Earth's importance, an exaggeration. But when the Council's message reached Earth, humanity's leaders listened with growing unease. Earth's resources were still recovering, and although they had long been aware of the alien king's ambitions, they had hoped for peace. Their founders focused on science, culture, and rebuilding. War was the last thing they wanted. But the Council's message made one thing clear: if they didn't prepare, they wouldn't survive. They would have to defend their world. Weeks passed. Earth's intelligence services noticed increased movement along the borders of human space. Alien vessels, cloaked and careful, hovered just outside detection range. Intercepted communications hinted at subversion, infiltration, disruption. It was happening. The alien king was baiting them. Small skirmishes erupted at outer outposts. The pressure grew, each move calculated to provoke. Earth's leaders tried to avoid war, responding defensively, speaking of neutrality. But behind their calm expressions, they knew it wouldn't hold. Inside the Galactic Council, whispers turned into arguments. Some feared they had waited too long, that their warning wasn't strong enough. They watched as the alien king ignored their counsel, destabilizing the region. Humanity, meanwhile, prepared for the worst. They strengthened outposts, expanded security grids, quietly launched defense drills under the guise of construction. Yet, any overt move could trigger retaliation. It was a delicate balance: resist without provoking, defend without declaring war. But the alien king saw these preparations as defiance. He began using intermediaries to wage economic war. Trade restrictions, market manipulation, and sanctions. All subtle, all deniable. His aim: to pressure Earth into submission, slowly, without firing a shot. But Earth didn't bend. Instead, they adapted. Communities pooled resources, innovation thrived. Engineers found workarounds. The alien king grew bolder. He authorized covert attacks on remote colonies, scientific posts, exploratory outposts. Not strategically vital but symbolically important, he wanted to break Earth's spirit, but Earth saw through the ruse. Their analysts spotted the pattern, his subtle hand. It became clear this wasn't chance. This was war by other means. Public sentiment shifted. No longer neutral, the people of Earth rallied. The alien king had underestimated something crucial: human will. Every attack, every provocation only steeled their resolve. Behind the scenes, diplomats quietly reached out to sympathetic alien civilizations. Some offered support. Others whispered concerns. Humanity's resistance was becoming a symbol, a movement. The alien king ignored all of it. His advisors warned him, cautioned him, urged him to reconsider. But he was blinded by pride, and so he authorized a final move, a bold attack on a remote but mineral-rich human colony. It was swift, devastating, designed to send a message. It did. Earth's leaders met immediately. That attack was the line. No more silence, no more neutrality. They would respond. Fleets were scrambled. Technologies, long developed in secret, were activated. Electronic warfare systems, cloaking tech, adaptive targeting. When the alien king's fleet approached again, they were met not with fear but fire. Human ships struck with surgical precision. Fighters danced between larger warships. Communications scrambled. Command vessels isolated. Earth's fleet was smaller but smarter. And they had surprised. In mere hours, the alien king's fleet was shattered. The council watched in stunned silence. Earth had won. And now, the galaxy would never see them the same way again. But for humanity, this was only the beginning. Probably, it would incite the alien ruler even more, forcing him to seek a definitive conflict. The Galactic Council watched these developments with growing apprehension about humanity's ability to bounce back. Its strategic ingenuity had unexpectedly shifted the balance of power, and the Council began to consider the consequences of Earth's expanding influence. Humanity had defended itself with a strength that could no longer be ignored. Other galactic powers took notice. Earth was no longer a neutral bystander. It was a rising force capable of altering the course of the entire galaxy. The political landscape began to change after humanity's victory. Neutral planets and smaller factions found inspiration. Earth's resistance to the alien king's dominion became a rallying cry. Rumors of rebellion spread. Many began to question whether the alien king's reign was truly unshakable. His own advisors urged him to negotiate to halt the descent into further unrest. But the king, proud and unyielding, refused. He believed any compromise would be seen as weakness. He was preparing for a final battle. What he didn't realize was that his relentless pursuit of dominance was alienating even his own people. Earth's leaders, too, were preparing, but not just to defend. Their scientists, engineers, and strategists were working day and night to put a final stop to the alien king's aggression. They pushed the boundaries of technology. Relentlessly, they forged new weapons, new defenses anticipating the coming storm. They knew the outcome of the next battle would shape humanity's future in the galaxy. And still, they pressed on, inspired by past triumphs, by the knowledge that they had already survived impossible odds. Humanity stood united, ready to defend its people, its sovereignty, and its place among the stars. Meanwhile, the alien king, bitter and obsessed, gathered his greatest armada. He poured vast resources into a final, crushing assault. But he remained blind to humanity's greatest strength: flexibility, ingenuity, adaptation. Earth's leaders knew they couldn't match him in numbers. But they didn't need to. They would outthink him. Teams of engineers worked tirelessly. Cloaking fields, electromagnetic disruptors, weapons designed to pierce even the mightiest shields. They built tools not just for war, but for survival. Psychological warfare became their most powerful strategy. Earth's intelligence services began transmitting carefully crafted messages throughout the galaxy, targeting neutral worlds. even conquered ones within the alien king's empire. These messages painted humanity not as aggressors but defenders, protectors of freedom, champions of self-rule, and it worked. Whispers of rebellion echoed in the outer reaches of the king's territory. Dissatisfaction spread like wildfire. The alien king raged. His empire, once unquestioned, was fracturing from within. Still, he dismissed his advisors' warnings. He believed Earth's strategies were temporary tricks. Once his forces landed, he thought all resistance would be crushed, but his overconfidence blinded him. While Earth's military strategists built a layered defense system using asteroid fields, magnetic interference, and planetary atmospheres to neutralize larger ships, his empire continued to unravel. Earth's smaller, faster ships executed devastating hit-and-run strikes, isolating and dismantling key enemy vessels. Every move had a purpose. Every strike weakened the alien king's forces and morale. Earth's leaders knew a united people was their greatest weapon. Messages of resilience and hope spread across the planet. Soldiers, engineers, citizens all became part of the defense. Every hand mattered. Then, the alien king's fleet arrived. Cloaked Earth ships struck first, precise, coordinated, devastating. The alien forces couldn't regroup. Earth's tactics weren't defensive anymore, they were calculated, slow, dismantling. In desperation, the king deployed more ships. He broke formation, he tried brute force. Was his greatest mistake. He moved more of his forces to the front. Rebellions broke out across his empire. Lesser factions seized the chance to resist. Earth's leaders, watching closely, reached out, offering intelligence, resources, strategy. What was once thought uncheckable began to collapse. Still, the alien king pushed on. Driven by a burning need to win, he threw everything into the